Okay, let's get started. Do we have any questions from yesterday? Anything that I can help you with? I like this questioning bunch here. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
All these questions, yes. It's terrible. Yes, sir.
About that technique you did yesterday, that no touch.
Yes?
Thing that you said you use your
Yes.
from your eyes.
Yes.
If the direction of your energy is straight out, or for example, between your head, is it like a slap?
I think it could be a sweep like that, yes, but that's not what I'm doing. I won't explain it right now at this point in time. Actually, it's also all these things that you're seeing. A lot of these things that you're seeing is research and experimentation that we've been doing. We're not. People look at us in seminars and in class, and they don't realize a lot of times the things we do when we're not at class, or we're not teaching a seminar. You know, we're always thinking about this thing. The thing that I did just a few minutes ago, I was sitting over there, and all of a sudden, light came on. Why? I had seen a videotape that I have at home of an Oriental guy who was doing that. And I'm looking at the videotape at home going, how in the hell is he doing that? It made no sense to me. I come here to Finland. Tony shows me a couple of things that he's doing. I put that together with that and went, I can do that. You remember what I said yesterday, that karate now is 90% mental, 10% physical. It is. This is the part that they weren't telling. This is the part that the myths were made of, the legends, the stories that you all heard, that we've all heard throughout the martial arts, and we couldn't find anyone who could teach it. I got fortunate, and in 1985 I got a letter from George Dillman, and in this letter it said, I want to teach you pressure points. Well, I had been doing pressure points all my life, but I wasn't doing them that way. I forget exactly what the letter said, but it was basically, I want to teach you this stuff. And I knew who he was from years ago when he was United States karate champion, and he was like for 4 years. And he was in Ripley's Believe It or Not. He was on a lot of national television shows, so I knew who he was. And I had a little tiny school, and we pretty much stayed to ourselves, and I really couldn't afford to have this guy in. But somehow, I would have normally thrown the letter away. But some way, every time I walked in my office, that letter was back in my hands and I was reading it again. And it just didn't make sense to me why that happened. Every time I walked in the office, that letter was back in my hands and I was reading it again. Whether I wanted to or not, it just happened. So finally I called him. And he said, you know your knife hand block? I went, well, yeah. He said, not a block at all. I knock people out with that. I'm going, okay. I can deal with that. And he goes, there's no blocks in kata. And I'm thinking at that time, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you mean there's no blocks in kata? He says there's no blocks in kata. And then he says, you've heard of people that can knock people out with their fingertips? I said, yeah, I've heard of them, but I've never seen one. He says, well, I can do it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, boy, have I got a Lulu on the phone here. You know, this guy must be some kind of nutcase. But then he said something that got my attention. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, I'm coming to Florida anyway. He said, I got to pass right by your school. And he told me what his fee was, and I about had a stroke. I mean, it was up there. So, and I knew I couldn't afford that. He said, but I got to pass by anyway. He says, I will stop and I will do a seminar for you. I will show you what I'm doing. He said, and I'll take whatever comes in. Win-win situation, right? Can't lose. So I said, okay, let's do it. I walked out in my school at that time, and I told my students what I'm telling you now. And I said, look, I said, if this guy doesn't have anything, we've had a big name in the karate school for a seminar. We're no worse off. But if he has what I think he might have, then we're not going to turn him loose. Well, that was in 1985. I'm still studying with George. George is probably one of the deadliest men in the world. It has changed my karate very, very much. It has done nothing but make it better through an understanding of this. And as we grow in this art, because we've had to do a lot of research, a lot of experimentation with people, and you have to be very careful when you do this, because this is a deadly art. So you have to be very, very careful, and you have to have concern for the people that you work with, that you don't do anything that's really damaging to them. As you get better with that, you also get better with the ability to actually kill them, because your understanding becomes more. Immediately what happens is you start learning the points, and your hands just go, after a little while, just start going to them like little magnets. They just suck right to them. And that to me was amazing, that would happen. Now I cannot touch people that I'm not on pressure points. I just can't do it. Every time I do it, my hands just go right there. I'm there. So this art is not hard to do. People complicate it. Everybody, that's the first thing they want to do, is complicate it. They want to make everything hard. But that's the simplicity. It is so simple that people can't believe it's that simple. So therefore they complicate it. But Dillman has done a great job with presenting the pressure point information. And I've told people everywhere that George Dillman has done as much for karate as Gishin Funakoshi. Gishin Funakoshi is the reason that karate spread throughout the world. But what he spread throughout the world was a sport. What George has been doing has been changing it back to the self-defense aspect. And he is bringing real karate back to us. And he has done that throughout the world. So he deserves so much credit for that. And I hope that in the history books, somewhere in the martial arts, he gets that kind of credit, because he deserves it. He has changed my karate. He has now changed yours. And he has done it all over the world. I've been as far away I've taught all of the United States. I've taught in Europe. I've taught in India, of all places. Now, that's a lot of people. That represents a lot of people and a lot of change. Other people have taught in Turkey. They've taught in countries I've never heard of. We've taught, I think one guy's teaching in Central America. So it is spreading. And it has not been quick. It's been slow. And I knew it would be slow, because martial artists are hard-headed. Most of them are hard-headed. A lot of them run away from this. And that used to just drive me insane because I couldn't understand how a martial artist could see this and not want to have it. But I finally figured it out, and it doesn't bother me too much anymore. They're either not ready for it, either physically, mentally, or spiritually. So they run away. If they're ready for it, they're right here all the time. And the martial arts, when this came along for me, I was about to get out of the martial arts. I was about to leave karate. I was a 5th degree black belt in Shotokan. I had been teaching forever, and I was tired of teaching block, punch, kick all the time. I mean, it became boring. It was boring because, why? Because I wasn't learning anything. I hadn't learned anything in years. Maybe another kata. What the hell was that? Had no real meaning for it. So it was nothing. I was bored. I had already picked the guy I was turning my school over to. This came along and I am learning again, and I haven't stopped. I learn every day, and there is, I see no light at the end of the tunnel. This is why karate was a lifetime study. This is the reason. I think that you guys are going to take this art further than we even imagine. As you grow in the martial arts and as you see things that we do, you're going to start experimenting. As you become higher in rank, you're going to learn more. You have the benefit of our mistakes. Our job as an instructor is to keep you from making the same mistakes we made. That's one of the reasons that I tell people, don't complicate it. Keep it simple. Because I made those mistakes. I confused myself so bad in the early days, I didn't know which end was up. But finally, I stopped doing that. And I try to warn people, don't try to learn all this at one time. You learn it a little at a time. You grow with it. And as you grow with it, you will get better. As you get better, you will have other ideas about, hey, I could do that, or I could do this. And you'll be doing stuff that I don't do. You'll be doing things that Tony doesn't do. You'll be doing things that we're going, wow, that's great. Of course, we're the ones that are starting. You're coming behind us. You have the benefit of all that information that we've cleaned out, and now you can start from there rather than where we had to start. So I look for really you folks to make a big difference as you grow in the arts. Anyway, let's go to work. Let's do something. Tired of hearing me run my mouth. So somebody, let me pick one. Somebody that hasn't been up here. Come on down. Way in the back here. This is a technique, just a quick little one that I kind of like. Guy grabs you, you reach over, you get this point on the wrist here that we talked about yesterday, the first one. Notice my little fingers on that. Why? Because remember I said it stops the energy from getting to the wrist. Once you do this, now Wally J taught me this, and I thought it was great because you get to show the guy a lot of respect. You know? And so when you're here, you simply bring this over like this, keep it pinned to your chest and bow to it. And when you bow to it, that happens. Now small circle jiu-jitsu is a small circle, a tightening circle this way. We talked yesterday about the base. You're using your chest as the base. I'll do it easy. As I turn up, a lot of times you have a strong man, you can't just peel his hand back like that. So you have to use your a little body English on him. There's a hole right there I'm going to try and move out of. So I'm going to move out of that hole. use a little body English, and turns his hand, little finger up. This is one of the weakest positions you can put his arm in, right here. Little finger high, like that. That way you can also get to this point very easily. Once you have it there, so come to the chest and bow to him. And he goes down. You go, asshole. You see it?
That hurt.
Huh?
I didn't see that.
Oh, I'll show you again. All right, so everyone get themselves a partner and try that. Please be careful with it. You can't damage your wrist, okay? Just be careful. And then we will expand on that. All right, we're going to build off of this a little bit. He grabs, all right, now I want to be a little bit meaner, okay? So what I do is I reach up here. You remember the point that I told you about the legs right here? Touch that. Now once I touch that and I step inside, I step forward. All right? So you're pulling the arm, and what you're doing, you're bending the arm this way. When you step, you have here, and you're twisting like this. Everybody understand? Talk to me, folks. Yes? See, because he doesn't want me to keep doing this. You sure everybody understands? Now what if I did this and I shifted into stance and looked? Isn't that neat? Thank you. But, so everybody get up and try that, and you're going to just step inside. Again, as you have him here, you're going to step inside like some. Let's see, I didn't snatch. But be careful, you'll break something when you do that. Try that. All right, now we're going to build off of this one. What we're going to do this time is, where'd he go? There he is. Yeah, you might as well come on, stay here. I'll work with you for a while. All right. Now, what I want you to do, you remember yesterday I told you that I always have something. Always have something. I never turn the man loose. If he gets away, I want to have something. If he is able to resist, I want to have something else. So when I have him here, I step in and boom, I go down here. Look at this hand. Look at this hand. What can it do? Look. As I shift, I get a finger. So it's 1, 2, 3, you know. You always have something. See? Now, my body is what? It's the base, right? Would anybody like this man? You can have him. Come here. Come here. Come here, Red. All right, now, what you do is put your hand where mine is, down here. See? Now it's yours. Do with him what you want to.
A friendly one.
Okay. But you see, it's very easy to do, but you just have something else in reserve. Okay? So let's go from there. And then I'll show you, we'll build on that. Okay? Thank you. Everybody get up. Slide the hand in, get the finger. This particular thing is something that Wally J does very, very well. Now, Wally is 85 years old. He was one of Bruce Lee's teachers. And he is an amazing old man. He's one of the sweetest guys that you'd ever meet anywhere. He was born in Hawaii. And I know that most of you probably don't know how they are But they're just kind of a laid back, nice, sweet attitude. Him and his wife both. She's Hawaiian, he's Chinese. And they're just such nice people. But his control of people is amazing. At 85 years old, if that old man grabs you like this, you feel the power. Now you feel my power. That's nothing in comparison to what that old man can do. I was at his house one day and he was sick. He's been sick for a few years now because he had open heart surgery at 80. Kills younger men, but he's still going. But he really was feeling bad that day. But of course, he has to grab my finger. You know, that's just, you wouldn't be at Wally J's if he didn't do that. And he grabbed me, and it was like, you just feel the power. And I always thought this thing that he does, I always thought that this thing that he does is so amazing that, and I'm not very good at it actually. He could get over here, see. We can drag him by the finger. But it's so neat how he does that, and you just can't get away from him. I don't care who you are. Get over here. You keep going off the mat on me. Get over here. Go ahead. You can even get a finger. You can get this joint. You know, you can still do it. Doesn't matter. You can get this joint. Doesn't matter. See, he's still hating life. You get that joint, even worse, because you've got more of a lever. Remember? Now, each joint has 4 pressure points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember what Tony was telling you about the knees. 4 pressure points surround the knees. You attack them across. You can use these points to do neat things. Here. But I like to use this one here sometimes because I see the reactions I get. But if the man tries to take his hand away from you, come here, I'm not hanging on. If he tries to take his hand this way, you can change points up there, you see. You can get the opposite point. See where my little finger is? So you can control him. You're going from point to point so easily, and he can't do anything. But I like the palm stuff because it's, you know, I can just kind of put him in my pocket and walk off. Come back over here. This is not self-defense, okay? It's demonstration of how it works. All right. Do you want to play with those 4 points a little bit on the if you want to? We'll do that for a minute, and then I'm going to show you a toe lock. See how easy fingers are. You notice this thing is not all that easy to do. It takes a little practice. Got to have a little sensitivity of where your man is, where he's going, and but that just truly amazed me that Wally J could do that, and he does it so much better than I do. I mean, you get away from me, but you don't get away from him. I've had high-ranking black belts. I can get away from that. And I go for it. And they come back to me and go, well, I can't believe that. I couldn't get away from him. It's like he's got a little piece of super glue right here. You know, gotcha. So anyway, fingers, a lot of times you can get to. Remember, you always have to have something in reserve. You have to have something there. Every time your man moves or changes on you, you want to have something that you can use. I like to use adversarial I was going to show you the toe lock first before I do something else. Now the toe lock is another one of Wally J's. It's using pressure points, and you cannot do this to yourself. It does not work. Pressure points know you're doing it. Okay? They know you're doing it, so they kind of turn off. So this is something that someone has to do to you, or you have to do to someone else. Just go down. I'm going to throw you down or anything. Just lay down. So say we were down here, and I wanted to get this guy. I'll just take my thumb and slip right between these two toes right here. And then I crank it right here. 2 fingers. 2 fingers. You see, he's not going to do a whole lot of anything except hurt, aren't you? Come on, hit me. Get me with that. Kick me with that. Kick. Come on. Kick me. You see? I got him by the toe, folks. You really want to do anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So, but all it is this pressure point here that I'm using. This is my lever, remember? Lever, fulcrum on the pressure point. And crank this down. You're just doing this. That's all you're doing. That's all it takes. Get your partner, one leg down, grab their toe. Okay, when you have a man in pain, he can't function. His mind can't function. What did I say yesterday? 3 ways that you have to handle a self-defense situation. You have to put them in enough pain that they forget all about what they were wanting to do. You have to knock them out or you have to kill them. This is a pain thing. When you have a man in pain and he can't function, and you have him in a 6-inch hover over the top, then you can always just grab something else and change up. You can hold that, kick him. There's so many things. You have a lot of options available to you. Now, a lot of you were turning this way, and which the man, when he turns, if you would please, lay down. The man, as he turns, see, sometimes you can get a guy, and you bring him up, and he'll just, you see what this hand just did? Knowing he was going to try to roll this way, because where's the pain? It's here, right? So he's going to try to roll to get away from that pain. As he rolls to try to get away from the pain, I simply stop him. Now he goes into the hover. You see? I don't let him roll, see, because he's going to try to take this away from me as he goes that way. Now I'm going to have to change up on him. See, he's going to try some more. So now I have to take him, and now, you see? But having to change because that's more dangerous for you. If you can take and stop that from the beginning by simply placing your hand there, why not? You can't kick, he can't do anything. He's going to lay there, and you're going to be able to tell him, you know you shouldn't have done that. You know, that was my wife. You understand me? But so you can make him just stay, and you can hold him as long as you want to. And, you know, is this hard?
Yeah. For me, yes.
You see, but you're not a whole lot of strength. That's what you want. As we age, we lose strength. We lose power. How in the world could these 80-year-old people, these masters, be deadly at that kind of age? They couldn't without this. If they were relying on strength and power that they had when they were young men, they would have long passed, you know, it just wouldn't happen. I don't know an 80-year-old man that could be considered deadly if he didn't have a pistol in his pocket or this. So with these little techniques, they don't require any strength. So it's real important that you learn those. As we age, us old guys, don't go away. We don't have the strength and the stamina that we once had. The marathon fights for me are over, so I want it over quick. We're going to go back to the first one we started working with here. And the guy's here, you bring him here, you pull him in, but he's not dropping like you want him to. Oops. What are we going to do now? What did Tony say earlier? Got him again. Oh, no, you're not. Yeah, that was my daughter, too. And my dog. So, what did I do? I'm here. Boom. Ooh, gee, he's hard. I can't get him down. Works, works, works. Change up. Lead him over here. Would you like to hit me? I'll even get closer. You can't do any better than that. Gee, you're a big guy and you're younger than me. What the hell's wrong with you? Come on. Ready? Oh, no. You say, it's called pain. It's called pain. And Molly J says pain makes believers. Correct? All right. All right, I want you to get your partner. I want you to try that a few times. I always enjoyed the small circle stuff because it blends right in with the pressure point work. Everything that we do with the small circle, the tuite is small circle jiu-jitsu, the same thing. So everything we do with that blends right in with the pressure point strikes. You control your man. You know where he's going to be. You hit him again. Everybody understand? The first one. How come you guys are way on the back row anymore? You were up front. What is this? For instance, if I have him here and bring him down, look at what he gave me. If I have him here, look what he gave me again. I mean, right off the bat, you are in control. You decide, do I just want to keep him in pain? What kind of threat was this? Is this a friend of mine that's just a little too drunk? Or is it somebody who's actually trying to do me harm? You get to choose. That's one of the beautiful things about pressure point work. You choose. Before, we didn't choose. We just had to get out there and fight and hope we could hit him more often and more powerfully, and you could make him stop what he was doing. But today, we choose. Choose what we want. You ladies, this is for you, please. If you have a man in, you know, I've been showing you this way. If your hand is not big enough, you have a big man, then don't do that. You can get 3 fingers and do that. You can get 2 fingers. And look here. Same, same, same. See? Now, when you are doing this particular technique, if I take this out here and do it, I can do it. I can do it, but it takes a lot. If I'm trying over here and I'm trying to do it here, that's not working real well either. But if I point it at his center line, it works very well. If I point it to his center line and then change directions like this to his foot, then that rolls him back over that way. If I take him down the center line and I change direction again back this way, then take him to his face. So you choose what you want to do. Like a basketball, see? Okay. As you choose, like a two-finger lock. Now, whatever, you get a two-finger lock. Look at the positioning he's in. Look at my positioning. Does anybody recognize this? I have him here. And I bring him here. Look. Look at the direction. Doesn't it look like that? Now he's a lot taller than I am, so I have to reach a little higher. As I tap here and here, toast into fade. Little things like that mean so much. The little small things, the little twist in the wrist, the little tightening of the fingers, those are things you want to remember. They make your techniques better. If you try to make the big circles with this stuff, it takes too much room to use. Aikido, for one thing, is a large circle art. It's very nice. It's a very nice art. But it takes a lot of room to use that. What a small circle does, tuite, is give you the ability to do this in a very tight environment. You could almost do this in a phone booth. I teach a lot of correctional officers, jail guards, in Central Florida, and they love it because those cells are very small, have beds in them. They don't have a lot of room to work. And with the small circle and the pressure point, they can control prisoners without hurting them as bad. They are in control. They don't need a big area to fight in, and they can do it right there. I always want my person here. I won't use you anymore. Go right now. Okay?
I like that one.
Give him a hand, please. So the small circle, remember, is just this. That's all. Wally has him doing this. And then he changed to where he was doing this with the wrists. Okay? This is the small circle. Because if I have something and I do that same move, you see, he goes down. Everything we do with this technique. If I'm going to choke him, for instance, if I have him here and I wanted to choke him, all right, a lot of people just grab. I don't. I grab here and then put the small circle into it, and you see what penetrates. George Dillman, when I first met Wally J., said two things. He said, first of all, he says, I want him, tell Wally to be sure to show you the choke. And he said, make sure he shows you the pretzel. And I said, okay. So we're sitting in McDonald's, drinking a Coke, me and Mrs. J and Professor J, and we're sitting there, we're talking. We're sitting there talking, and I said, by the way, George said for me to ask you to show me the choke. Right in McDonald's. You know, I'm going, people going, what the hell's that old man doing? You know? He's killing a young man, that's what he's doing. But then the pretzel came later. Has anybody seen the pretzel? I'm not very good at it, but I will attempt it. You haven't seen it? Oh. Okay, let me see. Give me somebody flexible. Somebody pretty flexible. Okay, come on. Wally will throw you down. Like I said, I'm not very good at this. It's not something that I practice all the time, but it's really kind of neat if I can pull it off. Wally throws him down, go, yeah. Then he'll take them, and he'll cross their arms this way. Okay? Now, the reason I wanted somebody flexible is because when you bring this across this arm right here, look at the pressure point it's on. Okay? And I didn't want it to cause pain. But here, as we go this way, he takes him this way, he comes through here, he will take this, give me that. Damn it. I told you I wasn't very good at it, but when we get him, he's kind of like this. And you have it.
Pretzel hole.
This is called. Go off here too. Yeah. When you turn him loose, it takes him a second to figure out where he's at, so you got to pull him. Thank you. Like I say, Wally can put you in that like that. So that's the pretzel hole. Do we have any questions? No questions. What is it?
Mitä tahansa te haluatte kysyä? Teillä on nyt tilaisuus
Excuse me.
kysyä.
It's a drink.
Ole hyvä. Ihan sama.
Se varmasti esimerkiksi toinen askelin eteenpäin.
Okay. Come out here. Come. Come on.
Silitellään vaan.
Sideways.
Kääntyvän sivusta aika.
Toinen oleva piirretty maahan ja toinen hyökkää askeleella eteenpäin, niin varustako suunnan maasta.
Can grab it.
Huh?
Grab the toe on the floor.
On the floor? I don't normally, but yes, I can. Because remember I said stick your thumb between the toes. Once I have it here, see, I got it. 1, 2. Now I got it good. Oh, get back around there. You see, boy, she's hating life. What? What gonna you think about it? I got you. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
With 2 fingers.
Sad.
Miksi yleensä syytön saa kivun? Why innocent people get the pain? She didn't ask any questions.
So,
Could you do it to me?
could I do it to you? I would love to.
About that.
Huh?
I'm just wondering that is he sure about that? That he wants you to show it to me?
Why not?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. What I did, you would use this like down here. Remember Tony showed you these points here. That bring the leg. You see what you just did? Now, can I do it to you? Yes.
Everybody's.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. You have to let your energy go. You have to quit trying so hard. You have to quit hitting so hard. How does that make any sense? Try it and see what happens. Relax. What style are you? Shotokan. I was Shotokan. So I understand where you're coming from. Everything that we did was very linear and very powerful. And it took me a while to retrain to where I was more circular. You know, and one time, sometimes you'll see me still linear, but to train myself to relax, be more circular, all the tension that we had or trained in Shotokan stopped our energy flow. And as I have learned to relax and learn to use more circular movements, more relaxed movements, my energy now just blasts right out. And it's not hard to do. When you have to retrain yourself, anytime you have to retrain something, it's hard. When you've been doing it for 20 years one way, it's very hard to change to another way. But if you do, it will be worthwhile. Remember this, Gishin Funakoshi was not Japanese. Shotokan is what he taught the Japanese. Have you ever read Karate-Do, My Way of Life? All right, if you read that book, you realize that the Okinawans did not like the Japanese. So when Funakoshi went to Japan, he went into hostile territory, you might say. He became friends with a gentleman by the name of Kano that created judo from jiu-jitsu. And Funakoshi saw what Master Kano was doing, and he said, well, that's a great idea for karate. He said, I'll adopt this color belt system. He was the first karate master to use the color belt system. He said, because we show progression. You know, Master Kano was the inventor of it. Funakoshi was the first instructor to use it in karate. And when he went to Japan, remember, he was going to hostile territory. If you knew something really, really good that might save your butt, would you really teach it to your enemy? What would you teach them? What he wound up teaching them was basically that which was put in the public school system of Okinawa in 1905. And that was done and overseen by Itosu, who was one of his instructors. He took the Pinan katas and he changed them, called them Heian. He reversed the first two because the first one was easier, the second one was easier to learn than the second one. So, you know, all these things happened. And here he is teaching in Japan, hostile territory. So he didn't teach him something that I taught you yesterday, or I emphasized yesterday. And what was that? A cat stance. So there's not a cat stance in Shotokan. If there was, I never saw it. He taught him the back stance. Now, why would he do that? Anybody know? Nobody knows? Where's that? Do a back stance. Can you move? Huh? Can you move?
Yes, sir.
But can you move fast? Can you really fight that way?
Not so good.
No, not so good. Get back stance. What did Tony show you this morning? The back stance opens up all the leg points to attack. If I was in hostile territory, I'd take that cat stance that's important and I would make it this. So I could get to anybody that gave me any problems. He was ready. Funakoshi knew pressure won't work. I've seen too many pictures of him doing it. There's a famous picture of Funakoshi, and he's doing this. And he's an old man, he's about 90 years old, and he's got a guy by the wrist, and he's kind of standing there, and he's like this. Now I looked at that picture for years and years and years. And I said, well, what is he doing? He's holding the guy by... Nothing in Shotokan shows to grab. Nothing. And he's using this. Well, today I know what he was doing. I'll show you. It's not a big problem. But he was about to knock this guy 2 days back into time. What he was doing is he had by the wrist, he had this knuckle out. This knuckle is for up energy, to send energy up. What's the point I showed you yesterday? Right there. I've got him by the wrist. I shove that in there. He's done. Funakoshi. I've seen other pictures of him He didn't punch with a full twist punch either. There's another picture of Funakoshi punching Makiara. This way, the way we punch. Remember, he figured he would start a sport just like Master Kano did, and he did a great job. He spread it throughout the world. Now, we were under the impression that it was a self-defense art. Well, the things that were really important were taken out. We believe that he put some things in there so that he could get to anybody that gave him any problems easily, like the back stance. Did you actually learn a cat stance as part of Shotokan? It's unusual. Most don't. Most don't. Because, it just wasn't there. And when I was studying Shotokan, I saw big holes in it. I saw big holes in the art as far as a self-defense system. That's what I was always interested in, is self-defense. I tried to plug that hole with jiu-jitsu. I caught a lot of hell from the Shotokan community about doing that, but I felt it was a safer thing for my students. My concern was not tournaments like everybody else's, but outside the dojo. So I mixed the jiu-jitsu with it, and I had no idea at that time, but I was actually taking it back to tradition. Funakoshi said in another one of his books that the karate he did as a child in Okinawa should not even be spoken of at the same time with the karate as practiced today. That was his words. In another one of his books, he said that what he's teaching is incomplete, and that he hoped instructors in the future would carry on and progress on what he had taught. So, he was telling us, but he wasn't telling us. He told us it was there. He didn't tell us how to do it. Even in the back of the Karate Do Kohan, what is there? There's a set of his notes. It says this point will do this and this point will do that and all this, but he never tells you how to set it up. I have two Karate Do Kohans. I have one that everybody has, and it has pictures of some skinny guy doing the techniques. I also have the one in Japanese that is actually Funakoshi in the pictures. It was his original Karate Do Kohan. I also have a copy of his first book called Rikyu Kempo, which is almost impossible to get, but we did get our hands on it. There's information out there, and we just have to keep searching, keep working, keep doing what we can to get that information. And that's what I'm about. That's what Tony's about. We search, we study, we work, and we try to make things better. We don't want to teach you anything that will get you outside there and get you hurt. We test techniques. I don't just say, hey, let's do this. And you go with me, that's wonderful, and boom, I hit you, and you go down. Well, a lot of that happens in the dojo. Everywhere in the world I have been, this is just a simple, for instance, give me a big guy, big strong guy. Come here, big boy. Yeah, you'll do fine. I was talking to that one next to you, but that will do fine. It's, for instance, a two-handed choke. This is if you can't get out of this, you're just about brain dead. But people have been teaching a technique all over the world that does not work. It works in the dojo because you allow it. You allow it to happen. But it doesn't work for real. Grab me in the throat. Squeeze. Get me. Got me. How hard is that? But what do I teach? Hey, teacher, go between the arms. Let me do this. What the hell's wrong with you? You know, go between the arms and force. Let me do this. Force them apart. Chop him in the neck or whatever. And the other guy goes, well, folks, if you try that for real, it is not going to work. I can take the littlest person here, and I cannot force their arms apart, especially if they have hold of me. His arms are out like this. Now, he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have my lapels. He doesn't have my throat. Nothing. Do not let me push him apart. It's not going to happen. I don't care who you are. I'll show you a couple of good techniques for this, but put them back out. Don't let me do this. No, you're not supposed to let me push you down. You're not supposed to. No, come on, don't let me do this. What's wrong with you? Hit me hard. But everybody understand, he cannot stop me. Think. Look what I got here. You see? So, I want everybody to get up. You should get your partner. You should try both ways. Here. And then let him choke you. Let him get you good and hard. Yeah, come on, yeah. Tighten your neck. Simply do that. All right, one of Wally J's favorites, and I like this one too, is what he does is he simply does this. Get me hard. Got me? Got me? No, you don't. So, your hands normally cannot wrap around a man's neck like this. The fingers are like this. They just slide right off, no problem. You just grab by the wrists. Grab by the wrist here. You push that way as you step backwards. Squeeze. Come on. You choke better than that. Come on. Come on, choke me. You know, so many ways. People have been killed that way, and they got to be brain dead. They can't get away from it. Here's another one of Wally's. I love this one. You're gonna love it. Come here. You're gonna choke me now. I'm up against the wall. My God. Got me pushed. All right. Now this did not work as planned, but this is okay. The way what I wanted it to do is when I took him this way, like this, and then pin him to the wall this way. Wally did this to me one time and just kind of stood there and talked to the crowd, and I'm going, gee, I can't get off the wall. I'm stuck. No. Right? Okay. So anyway, you can practice. One more that I wanted to show you. I'll beg more time, just a few more seconds, to show you this one. It's another one against the wall from a choke. Okay? Now most guys don't have a whole lot of hair here, which I would grab the hair normally when I do this, but I'm not going to do it that way. I guess, since I have people with hair. Give me somebody with hair.
Anybody? Okei, metsissäkin. Joku vapaaehtoinen.
Oh, the killer again. All right. You got me by the throat, you're pushing me in the wall. Okay? I need to talk right now. All right, you're pushing me this way. So I don't have a lot of room to do anything. So what do I have to do at this point? I have to create room. How do I do that? I do it with pressure points. Oh no. But what I'm doing here is primarily this movement out of kata is where it came from. So we're going to do this very, very slowly. If you would, please. Okay. Here you are. A strike, which brings him in that way. Now I've got room where I can move. I grab the hair or grab the ear. It doesn't matter which. As I turn, now I've got him. Okay, now we can go into whatever we want to. Just a technique that you want to think about as, you know, while you're training, you know, it's a movement out of kata. Why in the world would anybody do a 270-degree turn? That's one of my explanations for it. Now, what, Tony? Just grinning. But anyway, this is much fun, isn't it? Don't even think it. He's trying to slip away here, so we're just going to change up on him, and we'll get these. As we work, you have to think. You have to always keep your man at a disadvantage. Do not let him get control. If you let him get control, you see he sneaks out or hits you. See? If I let him out of pain, he tries to come back up rather than staying there. But you need techniques that you can keep the pain on. You can keep the pain on, and you can even increase the pain. And that keeps your man from doing anything to you. Now, as you do that, if you decide that you want to do anything else, if you need to, then you can. You have him in a vulnerable position. Look at my hands. Look where they're at. Want to fight some more? Easy. Easy work. Easy work. He's happy?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad he's happy. We want happy. Anyway, I'd like to say, stick a fork in me, I'm done. But you have been a great group. I have really, really enjoyed my time here and the ability to teach you. It is really a very special thing. As Bruce Chu says, without students, there are no teachers. If it wasn't for you supporting Tony as you do, you know, we wouldn't be able to do this. We can get good things happening here. And I would like to say this, and I don't say this a whole lot. I meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of teachers. But this man right here is very much like me in a lot of ways. Our attitudes are, yeah, he's younger. But he has done some things that are actually amazing with the little bit of support that he has here. He has studied, he has worked, he has busted his butt to become the best that he can be. And he has done one hell of a job. And I'd like to say to you, as I've said to him, there is nobody in DKI, nobody in the world, any better than this man right here. He has been doing a fantastic job. And Tony, I'm telling you, man, you have done a great job. Thank you very much, too. Thank him, please. He's the man.
Sitten hän antaa käsi myös Jackille. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mä käytän Go-Bader Sapper 21 tuolta olkapäästä. Yes, sääst.
Easy.
Ja Antti tässä tarvii tehdä, pysyä täysin reennissä. Ja me käytän sun kättä vähän lähemmäksi. Jani ei pure ketään, tänne suuntaan. Ja mä käytän sun kättä pienen napsun tästä.